Alright, so I'm having kind of a strange issue here where I'm trying to set up my control rig to animate this at and the basic premise would be to have this bottom leg, I guess knee, be able to control everything that happens up above. So if you look at the hierarchy here, I have my front leg foot, which consists of this sort of oval shaped plate inside of the AT here connected there. That plate is connected to the front rotator of the leg, and then we have front leg 3, which is the knee here. So the basic idea is that when this kneecap moves forward in space, when the AT is walking forward, this entire assembly up here would also move with it. So as this moves forward and then down to step, this would move down to step. So when I set up my basic IK solver, in here I select my first bone type, and that would be front right leg 1. And then item B would be right front leg 2. And then the effector would be this third element, which is right front leg 3. And you can see as soon as I do that, everything sort of freaks out and sort of detaches, is going to 0. So in order to fix that, there's a couple of things that I need to do. I will first propagate to children, and you can see that moves everything to then be attached to its proper leg piece. And then when I detach this, so I'll break all links, obviously it goes back to normal. And then I have my box here, which is attached to front leg 3, and I can just redo that. So if I right click on it and do set an initial transform to closest bone, it is attached to it. So then when I drag this in and I click Git, I have the transform controls for that. I will plug in the transform control into the effector here, and then plug in execute. And you can see when I do that, it's still, everything up top now is all messed up. So when I move this effector, everything is rotating, and everything obviously is working below right front leg 3, but everything above it is not working properly. So if I reset that back to 0, one thing that I was trying to do was to go into the translation and add a vector, plug that into our pull vector, which then would be based off the location. And when I do that, it seems to rotate this properly. So now, well, not properly, but now at least it's aligned to a perpendicular. Although, yeah, and then the piece in here, can't really see it very well, but that piece is aligned also. It's a little off. It would have to rotate 90 degrees out and then rotate 90 degrees down. So now when I move that, this element, everything is still rotating along the improper vector. One thing that I started to do to try to get around that was to add a rotation in. So if I go into here and go to math, quadrination, axis, this sort of solves the issue, but not really. It solves the issue for one of the pieces of the legs, but not the other. So if I plug this into the primary axis, and it changes to Y, it fixes, or seemingly fixes, this element here. But then this sort of connection piece up here, right front leg 1, does not work. So now when I move it, you can see that the upper leg starts to want to work properly, but this up here is not rotating or attached at all. So I'm just wondering if any of you know why, when I'm attaching my effector item being my front leg 3, why front leg 2 and 1 are not rotating along the proper axis to then connect to that bottom piece of the leg. If any of you know, just give me a shout. Thanks. Bye.